Welcome to the channel. Thank you everybody for tuning in. On today's review, we are looking at a watch called Shirryu. Now you might have seen this. A lot of the subscribers out there, you're pretty much clued up. You know what's going on. So on the Heimdallr store, on the Heimdallr website, Shirryu was a brand they released, I'd say, going back just under a year. They did a sumo homage. They covered all the Zimby color options, all the special editions, amazing looking watches, but I didn't buy it because of this name. So the name is probably going to be one of those things throughout this review. I'm not too sure how many people are going to like this name. I, for one, didn't buy the watches because of this name, but I've bought one now. So let's see what watch this is. Unfortunately, the sumo homages that Heimdallr did, I think pretty much most of them are out of stock. But FYI, you heard it first here, they are producing some more sumo homages with the Heimdallr logo. So just put that in your diary. So the watch, Shirryu. Now let's talk a little bit about the name. Shirryu actually means, it translates from Japanese, and it actually means growing dragon. If you've heard this, I'll tell you where you've heard this. Street Fighter, Shoorruukenn, which is translated into rising dragon fist. So yeah, that's the name. And you know what? I can't wait to hear the response in the comment section to see what we all think about the name. So back to the watch. This is from Heimdallr. It's homaging a Seiko SBDC051, which was Seiko's 6.2 mass recreation, which I don't think looks much like a 6.2 mass. Nonetheless, this is what we have here. And I'll tell you what, just on first impressions, they have really done well on this watch. It is a shame about the name. Like I said, I was put off by, buying this watch a long time ago when it came out. But you know what? It's a very, very high quality piece. Awesome looking watch, and it looks so much like the Seiko SBDC051. So wrist check, I'm wearing the Zelos black tip. Yes, don't worry guys, there will be a review on this soon enough, but the reason I'm wearing this is because I mentioned this when I done the unboxing of the black tip. They're very similar in looks, specifications, and let's talk about the dimensions. So the specifications of this watch is a stainless steel construction, bezel, case back and crown, all solid stainless steel. Now you've got a domed top hat, AR coated sapphire crystal. You've got a 120 click unidirectional bezel with a sapphire insert, and you've got a solid Seiko Epson NH35 movement which powers the watch. Now you've got screw down crown, screw down case back, and you've got 200 meters of water resistance. So pretty standard specifications, and it's amazing to see that that is a standard. Every watch that is coming out of AliExpress, ceramic, sapphire, NH35. Let's look at the dimensions now. Diameter of the watch is 43 millimeters. You've got a lug to lug of 49.5, so just under 50, and you've got a case thickness of 15.5 millimeters. The overall weight of the watch supplied on a waffle strap is 121 grams. Now, pretty substantial dimensions as well. It's not a small watch. Of course, it's homaging the Seiko, which has got roughly the same dimensions as well, but this has been done to a very, very good level. Let's go ahead, have a look at the dial. So you've got and again, they've homaged this really well. And same with the sumo Shirryu that they did as well. So you've got more or less exactly the same dial that you find on the Seiko. So you've got these tapered applied indices, and you've got a dual indice at the 12 o'clock, a baton at the 6, and in between you've got these tapered indices. They all have a polished surround. You've got a matte black dial with the printed Shirryu under the 12 o'clock. Automatic dial was 200 meters above the 6 and no other text. At the 3 o'clock, you've got a date window with a white date frame. Alignment looks okay. It doesn't look fully central, but you can see the date. Chapter ring inside the dial, and with this box style sapphire crystal, which by the way is a very high quality crystal, very nicely done. You can see that distortion. Just have a look at that. Grips the dial and the watch, great depth. And let's look at the hands. So you've got a sword style minute hand, arrow style hour hand, and you've got this very long second hand. I love the length and proportions of the hands. You're going to have great visibility, you know, coupled with the indices, the hands, I think is a perfect match. Let's go ahead and have a look at that Lume. Now just have a look at that. When have Heimdallr ever disappointed us when it comes to Lume? Now you've got a fully lumed sapphire bezel insert. As you can see, that is slightly dimmer than the actual hands and the dial. Fully lumed indices, and you got the minute and the hour and the seconds hand. Very nicely done. Now let's see how bright this can get. Absolutely nuclear when you do charge it up. And as I said, Heimdallr have never let us down when it comes to Lume. So if you want, you know, Lume monsters, then Heimdallr is a safe bet when it comes to that. Now I mentioned the bezel is sapphire, and I think this is maybe the first one they've done with the sapphire insert. I know usually Proxima do inserts similar to this. So let's have a look how good that bezel actually is. The sound is quite subdued, and I don't mind that. I don't like, you know, it doesn't have to be a very loud click. Pretty precise clicks as well. Let's check the alignment. So it doesn't line up exactly. And backplay, just half a click's worth. And we see these on quite a lot of watches, but there's no other movement on the bezel. Now when you do rotate it, it does actually feel like a very solid bezel. Like I said, there's no movement, a good amount of friction, it's not overly loose, and confirmed sapphire. The bezel itself is a thin coinage style, but it doesn't feel thin, right? It doesn't feel like it's anything less. So it feels pretty solid, and I really do like the way the bezel rotates. Now let's have a look at this case. Now I think this is where this watch really does shine. Let's give it a good clean. You do have a brushed A-face, circular brushing, you know, done to Heimdallr's usual high levels. Looking at the case shape, you can see it narrows down towards the bottom, and you get this really wide 43mm diameter case in the center. And along that brushing, you get a transition which goes into this chamfered edge, which is polished. So great highlights, great detailing. And it's detailing like this which gives off that really high quality experience. Then that highlighted, that polished chamfer edge then transitions into this linear brushing that goes down the center line of the case. You've got drilled lugs, which is always good to have, and a crown at 3 o'clock with no crown guards. This does annoy people, so before anyone gets annoyed, let's take it off. Polished crown, no signage. Shirryu in the center with some sandblasting. Stay foolish, stay hungry, 200 meters water resistance, circular brushing, polished around the sides, polished on the case back. And I think this is just for watch enthusiasts. I think this is all of us. We stay foolish, we stay hungry, as in our hunger for new watches never stops. So I appreciate that. But you know what? The case finish is exceptional. I'm really impressed. It does feel like a very high quality watch. There's no sharpness at all. The finishing is very nice. And the weight on it, you know, just on the watch case, really, really well done. And it's just a shame about the Shirryu. I think if you can get past that, so it's an awesome watch. That case is done really, really well. Very well finished. One of the nicer finishes that I've seen from Heimdallr. And of course, it's on a waffle strap. Let's put this on the wrist. Let's see how it looks. Let's bring these up together. Now you can see why I thought that Zelos did remind me of the Seiko SBDC051. Very, very similar case shape. Okay, let's put that one away. And this is the watch on my wrist. My wrist is, if you don't know by now, 6.5 inches. So pretty nimble wrist. And I'd say it looks a bit bigger due to the dimensions, due to the case diameter. But you know, I don't follow the fashionista rules regarding watches. I pretty much, if it looks okay on the wrist, and I'm okay with it, then I'll pretty much wear any size. I don't think you should just not wear watches. If obviously there's a limit, right? If the watch is a 60mm diameter case, then of course I wouldn't wear it. If it's literally hanging over my wrist, then I wouldn't wear it. But I'd say 6.5 inch wrist, you're pretty safe up to 52mm, depending on the curvature of the case. But I'd definitely wear this. Good presence, good legibility, and great comfort. Now let me take this off because we are going to talk about straps. I think perhaps Heimdallr did miss a trick when it came to this watch. I don't think they have a bracelet option. Now, let me show you something. Here's one that I destroyed earlier. So I had this bracelet on a 62 mass Homage by Heimdallr, and they use those silly pins on these. It's like a long pin, threads through the whole watch, but this one for some reason was super glued. I don't know why, and then I just had to get medieval on this to take it off. So damage the end link on that side. However, let's look at this side. Just have a look at that. Perfect fit. So I'm going to go back to Heimdallr, and well, am I not? Because I know this watch, I don't think they're making any more, and they might make some more and just bring them into the Heimdallr dial like they're doing with the Sumo Homages. But look at that, that's a perfect fit. And a watch like this needs to come on a bracelet as well. They've got this oyster style bracelet which you get on the 6.2 mass, and that's a perfect fit. Let's take a look at that. Let's try it on a different bracelet. So I've put it on this beads of rice style bracelet just to give it this vintage appeal. I don't know, I'm not too sure. What do you guys think? Not fully convinced. I think the gap's too big, to be honest. That gap's massive. So we're back on the waffle. Yeah, so I think we're ready to summarize. What do we think? You know what? I think everyone can see on camera with what I've said about it. The watch is actually very well made. It's a beautiful looking watch. It's got the right quality. It's got the right build. It's got the right features. Finishing is immaculate. Sapphire premium materials in terms of Homage. Very striking looking Homage. Very good quality Homage. Absolutely, hands down. So that's my review on the Heimdallr Shirryu Seiko SBDC051 62 Mass Recreation Homage. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm really interested in gauging what you guys think in the comment section below. So please feel free to comment. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next review.